Hi everyone, and welcome back to the webinar program. Today we bring you money options for young people. This event is brought to you by Services Australia. My name is Andrew and I will be presenting part 1. Part 2 is coming up next week. We would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the lands we live on. We pay our respects to all elders past and present of all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. Just a bit of housekeeping to start with. For those of you attending the webinar live, we do have a question and answer section over to the right-hand side of your screen. Please help us protect your privacy by using your first name only, or you can ask your question anonymously. Now we have moderators ready to answer your questions, so feel free to ask away. For those of you watching the webinar on YouTube after the event, you can find all the links in the webinar summary section. Some of the topics we're going to cover today include taking charge of your money, debt basics and credit, short and long-term goals. We'll look at some tools and resources, and when and where to get help. We hope you'll go away with knowledge and resources that can help you make better financial decisions now and into the future. Today's information is presented by the Financial Information Service, we're commonly known as FIS. We provide independent information and education to help you understand your financial options. It is a free and confidential service available to all members of the public. The service provides information only and no advice. We can support you with information about banking, investments, tax, super, accessing credit, changing jobs, changes to family circumstances, retirement, or if someone you care for is transitioning to aged care. Information in this webinar is a guide only. It is current at a particular date, being today, the 12th of June 2025, and is subject to change. Check out our Services Australia website for further information. Okay, now we're going to get into the nitty-gritty. Take charge and review your situation. This can ease stresses around money if you know where your money is going from day to day and prioritise where you want and need your money to go. When I talk to young people, they often ask how they can better manage their finances day to day, week to week and year to year. When I mention budgeting or tracking, I sometimes get the reply, I don't want to budget and I don't want to restrict my life. I just want to have fun. But it's not really about stopping you having fun or restricting your life. A budget is a tool to help you reach your financial goals. It could help you save for that holiday or even your first car. Now there is a link in the chat to the Money Smart website. Here you'll find a fantastic budget planner that will help track your day-to-day spending. This can be saved on your device as an Excel spreadsheet. This can easily calculate a budget for you fortnightly, monthly or annually. There is also a simple budgeting tool on the Money Smart website and on the Services Australia website. Now to do a budget, you need to look at money coming in. This could include wages, rental income, interest, dividends and settling payments. This could be fortnightly, monthly or yearly, but the budget tool can work this out for you. You put in all your expenses. Now you can look at your bills or bank statements to make sure all the expenses are included. Expenses can include weekly type expenses such as groceries and fuel and regular bills such as power and phone. Some irregular expenses could be medical or vehicle expenses. You need to make sure you put enough aside to take care of your basic necessities and living expenses and then work out what you have for your savings and lifestyle choices. Keep your budget somewhere safe and refer to it when needed. Track your money coming in and going out. Are you living within your means? If money is left over, look at what can be done to maximise savings. If you're spending too much, identify what you can do without. Also, consider reducing the use of credit. The budgeting tool can give you a breakdown of spending, which gives you a great visual of where your money is going. This can produce a pie graph that will show categories such as home and utilities, insurance and finance, groceries, personal and entertainment. Shopping around can really be worth it. Is there a better deal at another shop or provider? There are plenty of websites around that compare all sorts of things, such as gym memberships, mobile phone plans, insurance, health cover, and electricity. Find the best deal. The big supermarket chains have specials that alternate from week to week. You can use this to your advantage. Some of these supermarkets also have rewards programs. With savings, start small and consider a realistic time frame to achieve your goals. Think about what you can cut back on. For example, do you need all those streaming services or will one suffice? I know from personal experience, whether you have 1 or 4 streaming services, it still can be hard to find something to watch. Planning is the key to successful investing. Creating a plan will help you find options that fit your time frame and risk tolerance to help you reach your financial goals sooner. Set goals to help you stay on track and avoid dipping into your savings. Set up a direct deposit so some of your pay goes directly into your savings. You may also be able to do this through your employer. Put some money away for unexpected events or an emergency. If you get a pay rise, consider putting a little extra aside for savings. Set a target. Determine how much is needed to reach your goal and how long it will take. Review to make sure you're on track on a regular basis. Commit to savings goals. Some people even have a financial mentor, which could be a trusted family member or friend to help them along the way. Short-term goals could include reducing a credit card debt, buying a new TV or car, or saving for a holiday. Identify spending leaks. Do you need that coffee every day? $5 for a coffee every weekday saved could end up being $1,300 after 1 year. Now, this could be a return airfare for your overseas holiday. Set up a separate savings account. There are a number of accounts that pay interest significantly above the base rates if you meet certain criteria. Sometimes this criteria might be as simple as making a deposit every month and not withdrawing. Long-term goals are plans to achieve in around 5 years or more. These goals could include buying your first home. The sooner you start to save, the more you'll earn with compound interest. For example, if you save $200 per fortnight at 4% with compound interest after 5 years, you could have close to $30,000. With compound interest, you'll earn interest on your initial savings and interest on interest you've already earned. You get interest on interest. I wish I knew this when I was young. Thinking a bit further ahead, if you can do it, make extra contributions to super is a great way to boost your retirement savings, and it can reduce your tax. If you're on a low income, you may be eligible for extra contributions from the government. An emergency fund is money set aside to cover your urgent or unexpected costs. This could be car repairs or an urgent medical bill. It provides a financial safety net so you don't have to borrow money if something happens to you or your family. If you put $20 a week into a savings account, you'll have over $1,000 by the end of the year. That's the start of a good amount of savings to give you some financial breathing space. If you're thinking long term, it's worth having a bit more put aside. Credit can be an effective tool, but you need to understand the options and implications. Credit can help purchase many things: buy your dream house, get a new car, or pay for essential household items. But fees and charges and interest rates can make borrowing money to purchase an item very expensive, especially if you borrow more than you can afford. Work out your current spending and how much you can afford to repay each pay period. Give yourself a buffer by allowing for interest rate rises and unexpected expenses. You can't predict the future, so we can never be sure if interest rates will go up or down. If you have a credit card or are planning to get one, it's important to know how they work. There are different types of credit cards. Some are low rate and low fees, while others may have higher fees and a higher interest rate, but features such as reward programs and interest-free days. If you always pay off your credit card in full each month, look for one that offers interest-free days. These cards may charge higher interest rates and annual fees, but if you pay your debt off within the interest-free period, you'll avoid paying interest altogether. If you know you won't be paying your debt in full straight away, consider a card with no interest-free days. You'll usually pay lower annual fees and less interest. Are you looking for a new car or your first car? You may need to borrow money. You can borrow an amount of money that you have to repay within a certain period of time. This is called the term. You'll have to sign a credit contract that specifies the amount borrowed and how you will repay it. The term can vary, but it's usually between 12 months and 5 years. If you shop around, you can choose between a fixed or variable rate loan. In a fixed rate loan, the interest rate is locked in for the term of the loan. This means your repayments will be set, so you know exactly how much you must repay each month. This could suit some people. However, if you make extra payments from time to time and pay out the loan early, you may be charged an early termination fee. You will also have to pay account fees and charges. With secured loans, you offer an asset, such as the car you're buying, as security for the loan. If you don't make repayments, the credit provider can repossess and sell your asset to get its money back. If your car is sold for less than you owe, you will still have to pay the credit provider the difference. Unsecured loans are typically taken out for used cars. You don't need to offer an asset as security, however, you may not be able to borrow as much. Interest rates are usually higher for unsecured loans because the credit provider is taking a bigger risk. If you don't repay the loan, the credit provider can take you to court to recover its money. Just as important as getting the best price on a car is getting the best credit deal. Once again, shop around and you may be able to get pre-approval for certain amounts before you start looking for your car. Buy now, pay later has become very popular, but beware of consequences if payments are missed, as penalties may apply. You pay by instalments over time instead of paying the full amount up front. There is also a deferred payment option where there is an interest-free period where you can pay it off. The interest rate you'll be charged if you miss a payment or haven't paid off the balance by the end of the interest-free period can be high. Always check fees and charges in the credit contract. A payday loan is a high-cost short-term loan. Payday loans include small amounts, loans of up to $2,000 that must be repaid between 14 days and 1 year. The fees and charges on payday lending are capped by the government. There is no interest charged. There are usually higher establishment fees, a monthly account keeping fee, a government fee or charge. NILS loans or NILS can be used for the purchase of essential goods and services. NILS has 0% interest and no fees or charges. You can use NILS to help cover unexpected costs and pay the money back at a rate that's manageable for you. The scheme offers loans of up to $2,000 for essential goods and services. To find your nearest NILS provider, visit the Good Shepherd Microfinance website or call 136457. If you're eligible for settling payments, you may be able to get an advance payment. The amount available varies depending on the type of payment you receive. You'll have to pay this money back to Centrelink over 6 months, but it may help cover a temporary shortfall and you won't have to pay interest or fees. Now, some things to consider with phones. Should you go prepaid, SIM only or contract? What sort of data are you going to need? Is it better to buy the phone outright or do prepaid, or will it work out cheaper in the long run with a contract? Choosing between providers, will there be enough coverage in my area? Whichever way you go, make sure you understand what you're signing up for. If there's anything you're not sure about, ask questions or get advice from family or friends. List all your debts so you know where you stand. Before you can start tackling your debts, you need to have a clear picture of how much you owe in total and what each debt is. Should you consider refinancing? Do you need help? The first step is to look over all your debts. Who do you owe money to? What is the interest rate for each debt? This can sometimes be confronting, but remember, this is about financial control and making sure your finances don't control you. Prioritise your debts. There are two common approaches to paying off debts. The first one is the snowball effect. This is where you start small and pay off all your debts one by one. You start with the smallest debt and work your way up. You keep paying the minimum on the other debts, but any extra funds go towards paying off the smaller debt. Once this is paid, you move on to the next one and so on. The other approach is to pay off the debt with the highest interest rate first. This is the avalanche method. There are options to consider, including refinancing. You could move any loan you have to a new lender that offers a better interest rate, lower fees, or interest-free period, or a longer loan period. Consolidation of debts is another option. You could look at putting all your debt into one loan and interest rate. Now, free help is available if you need it. Here are some places you can go for free help and guidance. Once again, Money Smart is a good resource and has a section on trouble with debt and has tips on how to approach your credit provider to ask for hardship assistance. The main thing here is to get help if you need it and don't put it off. The Financial Information Service can be accessed by calling any of our payment lines. Just say Financial Information Service when prompted. We can assist in various ways. And of course, we deliver a webinar program. You know that because you're here today. But do your friends know? Spread the word for us and keep an eye on the website for our next topics. From the whole team today, thanks for joining us. We're looking forward to seeing you next week for Money Options for Young People, Part 2.